Samurai and her guys. I'm your host Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai on Ravelry and Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I love connecting with people over there. This is episode 126. This is a knitting podcast. So, how's it been? It's been about a little over a week since we last talked, and I was hesitant to record today just because I don't feel like I have a lot of progress to show you, so it might be a really quick show. But I wanted to sit down, catch up, because I know it's going to be a while until we can do it again. So, what's on my needles? Let's talk about that. First up I'm going to finish this row, are the Narnia socks. So they are knit with an opal yarn. I'm doing the Wendy Johnson slip stitch heel basic sock pattern for those. And the opal yarn, I can't pronounce the name, but there is a link in my show notes. And the yarn itself is a beautiful rust gold color, rust tan color, red, pinkish, washed down, very washed down color, and with this great slate blue, teal slate. So I did put a 2x2 rib on the top of the foot, and I finished both heels. I know, I was racing to get these heels done because I was like, I didn't have them done last week and I wanted to, and so I cannot go visit with them again without finishing my heels. So I have 2 heels done. One is a little further along. I got about an inch further up the leg on this one. But yeah, I'm really excited, and they are super matchy. So that's awesome. Awesome. So they are a gift knit, so I'm excited to do that. US zeros, 2mm needles. What else to tell you? It's opal. It's a great workhorse yarn. Highly recommend it. My favorite of the commercial sock yarns, hands down. So yeah, there you go. It's coming along. 2 heels. Woo-hoo. And I do have enough. I was looking, so I've already knit a barn raising quilt square with this yarn. So whatever is left in these 2 cakes is for the sock, and then it's done. And I did measure and make 2 equal size, I think they're 40-gram cakes. So this one, it looks like I have enough to do 3 more stripes of the blue, which is definitely, I mean, that would be a sock that's, well, about that much on the leg. So a nice tall, like an 8-inch tall cuff. I will not knit an 8-inch tall cuff, but I could if I wanted to. So I'm glad to know that knitting the square first didn't detract from the project overall. And because a lot of times with my leftovers, or when I get a skein of yarn, sock yarn, I'll split it in half and then knit, and then take those leftovers and use them for a square. Did I just make a square in my hand motions? I think I did. But I don't want to have my leftovers like that, and so maybe in the future I don't want to have extra ends in that giant blanket I'm going to have. So maybe in the future I will pull out for the square and then split the remainder after that. We'll see how tall those socks, if I have enough to do the full length that I want to do, which I should. It's like a 430, 460 yard skein. So, new bag. I don't think you've seen this one. So this is Silver Shed USA. Well, you may have seen it on Dramatic Knits. So this is her extra large, and it is very large. I have, I think, 2 of her mediums. I wasn't sure what size the ones I have are. Oh, I have more than 2 of her bags, but I think they're all mediums. So this is my first foray into extra largeness, and it's lovely, big. It holds lots of projects. So the swirl hats I was knitting by Melanie Harrington. Nope, not Melanie. Sorry. Mandy Harrington. For some reason my brain is, I don't know. I had this one finished. This was my 3rd one, and that's opal sock. No. It's my 3rd one, and this is Into the World Quaro sock, which is an 80-20. And then this one is the 4th one that I just finished, and that is Into the World Manchester sock. So that's their 80-10-10 merino nylon cashmere. And it's interesting, they have very different hand feels between these 2 yarns, but they're equally nice. They have different qualities. Like this one's super soft, but this is not unsoft. I like them both very much. And it's funny, I had picked these because I thought they looked really similar, but knit up, don't they look super different? They do to my eye anyways. eyes. Hopefully you could see the difference in them. And this one, I wanted to knit a matching sweater with the rest of the yarn. So I cast on the Linny by Justina Lorkowska, Lorkowska. And I started with it. So I cast on to this part, got to the body, realized I didn't have enough to do the entire body, so I pulled in a contrasting color, which is this light purple, which actually is nowhere in the yarn itself. It might be at one of the transitions from the purple to the yellow, but the purple color is more of a violet purple than this lavender purple, I will call it. But I think it matches pretty well, and it's also a sport weight versus this being a fingering weight. So, and the whole sweater is knit on US size 4s, 3.75 millimeter needles. I'm looking, no, 3.5 millimeter needles. And did I say the name of the purple? The purple yarn is Millamia. I'm just having so much fun pronouncing things. Naturally soft merino, and it is super soft, definitely. And of course, with my gauge, the sport weight on the 4s just feels so much more cushy and nice than the garter fingering weight on the 4s, but it's fine, it's fine. So I knit the body and switched back to the contrast as the pattern calls for, and then realizing I did not have enough for the sleeves, so I just split what I had left and knit the sleeves as long as I could, and I think they're great. They'll probably be elbow length for this size body. It seems very square. Like, I know a baby sweater is going to be square, but I think typically they're a little longer, but this was the one, if you remember, I couldn't quite tell how I was supposed to measure it, so this is 9 inches from the shoulder seam at the top, which is where I decided that, or from the outside edge, either way. Yeah, so I think that will make a very cute little baby gift for one of my lots of our newly pregnanted friends, or announcing friends. But yeah, look, I even put buttons on it, and it just needs a little blocking. It's rolling right now, so that'll block right out. And I can see that one of my ends has been woven in and jumped to the front. Don't you hate how that happens? If I trimmed it after I blocked, it wouldn't be a thing, but I don't. So last time I did also talk about wanting to do more of the swirl hats, but incorporating the monkey stitch pattern. So the monkey socks are by Cookie A. That pattern came out in 2006. Oh my gosh, knitting.com, free pattern, lovely pattern. It was all the rage. I remember knitting my first pair at least, while listening to Lemon Violet. I know, that's about the time that I started listening to podcasts, way back in the day, when I was evolving to be a crazy sock knitter, and then I became a crazy sock knitter, and now I'm evolving out of that into, you know, 1 pair a month. That's not crazy, that's normal, but the 52 pair plunge, that's a lot of socks. And I got, I think, into the 30s one year. So anyways, that is not about this. So I took that stitch pattern, I used the stitch count from the swirl hat, cast on using US 2s, and then switching up to size 3s, 3.25 millimeter needles for the base of the hat, or body of the hat, I guess. So the ribbing's in 2s, and then the rest of it's knit on 3s. And I like it. It's going fine. So this is some Inspiration Dye Works basic sock in her, what's the colorway called? Walking After Midnight, I believe. I don't have more to show you because for some reason, even though I can read my knitting and tell exactly where I am in the monkey stitch pattern, that's why it was so popular when it came out, because you do a 1 repeat and then it would be memorized, and it's like a 16-row repeat, so it's very easy to read your knitting and continue on in pattern. But for some reason, for me right now, it's requiring a little more brain power than I have. Like, I can't just sit and let my hands work. I have to be like, okay, where am I at? What's going on? Looking and focused. And that's just not where I'm at right now. So that's going a little bit slower. I will knit more baby hats just because I want to give them as gifts, because everybody's gonna have showers pretty quick here, and I thought a pair of hats was really cute, or a sweater and a hat if I know you a little better, but I'm not knitting baby blankets for everybody, just because that's a lot of work. But so there'll be more baby hats to come. Don't think there'll be more monkey ones, so that might be a one of a kind. So, and there's still, like, I've got 4 projects in here, and there's so much room. So it's definitely a sweater bag, but I'm using it for something else. And Roland loves it, loves the turtles. So there's that. That's, yeah, what I have. I was marveling at the number of quick little projects I have going, and nothing really substantial. But again, Stash Dash is coming. Well, not again, I don't think I've mentioned that, but in my head I have. It's coming, so saving up all the big stuff. This is this week's finished Tristan's dinner napkin. So it's just Grandma's basic dishcloth pattern, whatever that's called. Grandma's dishcloth pattern, yeah. Using Lily's Sugars and Cream ombres, because I like those. So one to add to the collection. That's the 6th one I've finished since I started knitting these for him. And yeah, we use them at every meal. He uses one of these, you know, use it dry, use it wet, whatever, wipe them down afterwards. The other night we were in the living room. No, we were not in the living room. We were in the dining room. It's one big open concept house anyways. But we were in the dining room. Roland was finishing eating his dinner. Tristan was done. So Tristan and I were sitting on the floor, and I don't know if I was tickling him or what, but somehow he got on his back. And we have hardwood floors, and I grabbed him by his little knees. He's laying with his head away from me, and I pushed as hard as I could. And then I leaned forward and I pulled him back towards me by his legs, and, you know, wiggled him a little bit. And oh my gosh, you would have thought it was the funniest thing ever. He was so excited, laughing so hard while I was doing it. He loved it. We must have did it for about 10 minutes, just kept pushing him and pulling him back. And Roland finished, and he came down, and he wanted me to do it to him. So then I tried to do it to him, and I had to bend up his knees, like his knees bent because his legs are so much longer than Tristan's, and even still, like half the distance, I couldn't get him very far at all. Made me feel bad because we were having a really good time, and I could see why he wanted to join in, but he's just a lot heavier. I can't dust the floors with him nearly as well. So it was fun for all of us. But yeah, so dishcloths or dinner napkins for Tristan. Those are coming along. See, I'm working on it right now while I'm talking to you because it's such a mindless thing to do. The other small modular knitting that I'm doing is the Barn Raising Quilt by Marissa, no, my eyes are lost, Shelley Mackey and Larissa Brown. So I have one that's my scrap one that's hibernating right now. But I'm doing a second one for Tristan, who is 11 months old. I know, he's getting so big. So his is knit with, I'm almost done. Does everyone in your life get sick of hearing you say that? Just let me finish this round. His is knit with 3 distinct colors, 10 squares each, because I haven't talked about this nearly enough. Those are the 3 colors that I'm using. And I finished my 11th square this week, so now I'm more than a third there. It's this one. So that's Opal Rainforest. I think it's called Merlin is the colorway for this one. So there's that. I need 19 more, and if I do the Stash Dash math in my head, and I really focus in and do more than 1 square a week, I could totally get this done and include it in Stash Dash. And since there are two skeins of each color, that's 6 times 400, that would be like 2,400 yards into the blanket. Ooh, it's very tempting to get that finished up and included in Stash Dash. I know. My 2010 cardigan needs to come back out for Stash Dash too. Would you please remind me of this? Are you thinking about Stash Dash and what you need to do to achieve those goals? I don't know. There's something about a goal. It just speaks to me. As you all know, if you've been watching for a while, I love to set goals, achievements, missions, just that sense of accomplishment. I can't get enough of it. So, and I think that's partly part of the reason why I've decided I'm a product knitter, much more so than a process knitter. I think I used to be a process knitter. I did a lot of charity. I'm sorry, I'm wiggling. I'm trying not to, trying to remember. I did a lot of charity knitting, and I didn't really care what yarn I was using or, much about the finished product. It was more about just the process of knitting and enjoying knitting it for knitting's sake. But now I feel like I won't have momentum for something if I don't want that finished product. For some reason, I need to be, and it doesn't have to be for me, like that baby sweater isn't for me, but I need to have all right, let's get through this and get it done. Otherwise, my attention goes through the floor. That 2010 cardigan is a perfect example. The days started to be in the 60s and 70s there. It's been gorgeous lately. And my attention for wanting a heavyweight wool sweater, but that's some good yardage, and I want to get that included. And I want the finished sweater for this fall. Totally want that. So that's that. What about you? Are you a process or a product knitter? And does it change with time? Have you evolved into something other than what you once were? Crazy sock knitter into not a crazy sock knitter. I don't know how I would classify myself anymore. I guess a lot of small things. Although I don't wear a lot of knitted accessories, but I feel like that's more the classification that my knitting would fall into. Less so, I knit sweaters, but I don't knit them all the time. I don't go from sweater to sweater to sweater, although I started to at the beginning of the year, but kind of trailed off on that. Well, and there's nothing like having some weight loss to make you really throw the brakes on sweater knitting. I shouldn't just say that it's the weather that's caused me to lose interest in that sweater. Yeah, I am down 17 pounds since I started on my dad's birthday, or the day after his birthday, March 24th is when I started using the my fitness pal, and just tracking my calories and being aware of what I'm putting in my mouth. Amazing the difference that makes. And I have so much energy. Can I tell you, with my job, we do community service. I've talked about it before. Several times a year, take a day, we went to a horse farm, or it's a therapy horse place. So they bring in children with various disabilities, challenges as they call them, and they ride on the horses, and it does some sort of therapy for them. Anyways, so we went there yesterday, and it's wonderful to go and just enrich a nonprofit, plant some beautiful flowers and throw a fresh coat of paint on something, and it just makes it more pleasant for everyone. Anyways, so I did community service all day yesterday, and usually after the second hour, I've lost momentum. I'm just slugging through it, doing what I have to do, having a good time with my coworkers, because it is a team building exercise usually. But I need energy. I need more coffee. I need more. Gotta go eat something, And yesterday it was 11:30 when I looked down at my watch, and I was like, "Where did the morning go?" And I've done all this work, and at no point during the day did I feel tired and run down. At 3:30 when we finished for the day, I felt tired, right? But I had also been out in the sun doing manual labor all day for a girl that sits at her desk all day. So it was very different, but I credit that largely to having a pretty significant weight loss at this point. It's going. I'm down a size in everything. Everything. So it's exciting, and I'm still going to keep at it, and yeah. I don't want to say you should too, because that sounds kind of preachy, and I don't mean it like that at all. You're beautiful just the way you are, but for me it's been a very good experience to just get an energy boost and to feel better about myself. So there you go, public service announcement over. Back to knitting. So yeah, I think I've shown you all my projects, right? I told you about the blankets. We talked about Stash Dash. I need to get a spreadsheet going to track that, to plan out what I think I'm gonna do. I haven't really been watching anything, just a little bit of The Voice. I'm just shocked that Joshua Davis is still in it. Can I say that? Okay, I didn't see Tuesdays, so disclaimer, maybe he went home on Tuesday, I don't know. But I'm shocked that he is still in it. And go Megan. And Corinne, who I thought should have gone home the week that she was saved, I did not really connect with her. Didn't really like her music. I love her. I'm like totally, it's a totally emotional thing. I don't think she's the best singer on the show, but I am rooting for her. And if she wins, I'll be just as pleased. So Megan is the best singer, hands down. But that's my take on The Voice this week. And then a little bit of new yarn. So I ordered some more teal to go in the blanket. Aqua, whatever. There needs to be a better word than teal. Teal is too all-encompassing to me. I need shades of teal. I need to come up with synonyms for the word teal. But anyway, I ordered some more from Fiber Knit for the blanket. And while I was there, she had a grab bag of mini skeins. And I thought, oh, let's do that since we're doing the swap. And I was so excited to pull them the other day. And they're all ready to go. Just if you're my swap partner, all ready. I'm just waiting for a few things to come in the mail and get my letter, my notes written, and package it up and ship it out. So she had a grab bag on her site, and I ordered it on the Bounce Base, Fiber Knit Bounce Base, which I love. Look at this. It's like sherbet or summer flowers, sunshine in my hands. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So they're 100 yards each, and it takes 80 to make a square. So I don't know if I'll use them for that though. I'm kind of seeing a striping shawl because it's 500 yards. That's a good size shawl, and some sort of color progression. We'll see what I do, but these are beautiful colors. And that base. All about that base, about that base, about that base. So I think that's enough for me for now. I know it's a quick one, but that's what I have. So I'll see you in about 10 days or so. I hope you enjoy what's going on with your knitting, and take care of yourself. Bye.
How many eggs?
How many eggs can a turtle lay?
100 of eggs.
Really?
Huh.
Are you sure?
What than gooses hats.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever...
400.
No, that's too many.
Yes, they do make that hat. Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Do you know how many eggs a goose lays?
Wow.
Oh, how many? I'm asking you.
6.
Maybe. I was going to say 4 or 5, so 6 makes sense. I don't really think a turtle lays 100 eggs.
Yeah, Tina said that, and Robin says that's right. So, turtle lays that many eggs.
Wow. Who are Robin and Tina?
They're my teachers.
They're your teachers.
That isn't, no, okay, that's a good safe choice.
Yeah, he had his helmet on.
I thought he didn't have it on.
Yeah, I thought he didn't too.